your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Floyd may be losing strength, but it is still dumping flooding rains as it races to the northeast. As Floyd moves away, communities like this one in Maryland are able to survey the damage. Hello, I'm Terry Smith, and welcome to this edition of Weather Center. I'll have the nation's weather and your Friday forecast, but Floyd is still the center of attention. Here's Christina Abernathy in the Forecast Center.
All right, thanks, Terry. And of course, Floyd is now a tropical storm. It has weakened, but we are still very concerned about the potential for flooding rain. Here's a look at some scenes that we've got from Norfolk. Proof of that can be found in several areas tonight, including Norfolk, Virginia, where you're trying to dry out after Floyd soaked the coastal city. Roads were underwater today, and several vehicles were stranded. And in Delaware, we have these amazing pictures. A bus was no match for the surging waters. No reports of injuries, but flooding caused problems in many areas of Delaware. Now we want to take a look at some of the latest statistics on Tropical Storm Floyd, centered at 39.3 north, 74.6 west. The winds are now down to 65 miles per hour. It's still racing off to the north-northeast at 30 miles per hour, and the pressure at 974 millibars. We do have tropical storm warnings in effect from Cape Charles, Virginia, northward to the Merrimack River, Massachusetts. And we also have other concerns too, including gale warnings from the Merrimack River to Eastport, Maine, and another from Currituck Beach Light, North Carolina to Cape Charles Light, Virginia. So winds 39 to 54 miles per hour, a possibility, and heavy surf a concern from parts of South Carolina on toward Virginia. So still feeling some pretty far-reaching effects associated with Tropical Storm Floyd. And of course, we've been covering the system throughout the event live on the scene. We have two crews out now, including Jim Cantori, who joins us from Point Lookout in New York. Jim?
Well, Christina, we continue to deal with the wind, mainly out of the east-southeast tonight, and also the rain. And actually, I'm thankful for this rain because it's holding the sand down a little bit. If you don't have any rain, we tend to get a wind-whipped sand, which on this platform that I'm standing at, giving this live shot, is pretty much accumulated. You can probably see these sea oats behind me here waving in the wind, still, again, out of the east-southeast. So we have not seen the center of the storm go by us. When we see that happen, winds will probably start to shift around a little bit, come in out of the south, and then eventually the northwest. And I'm sure everybody on Long Island would appreciate that. Now, if you are a commuter that goes to New York City by Amtrak, from what I'm hearing now, there are no trains out of Boston from New York City tonight. They've shut down Amtrak service out of New York to Boston. Of course, the airlines are a complete mess tonight because of the weather. We know that from Boston all the way down to Atlanta. And unfortunately, too, for those dealing with the train at Grand Central, Metro North is not going in and out of Connecticut. So folks are going to be spending the night in New York City And I guess the good news is you won't have a very long commute tomorrow if you're heading off to work. So that's the good news. But we have not had a tremendous amount of heavy rain here out on Long Island. The heaviest rain has been back in the city, where the boroughs have been under flood warnings at times. Today we had 3 to 5 inches of rain there, and also up into the Hudson Valley. So at least we've got that. But we have some pictures. We do have some pictures to show you of this area. First, of the waves, where you can see those waves again crashing against the shoreline, where we have heard of some beach erosion as a result of these waves. And that's not surprising. I mean, you've got 7 to 12-foot breakers coming in, chewing at the coast. Even with a tropical storm, you're going to get beach erosion, just like you would with a nor'easter, for that matter. We've also got some pictures, unfortunately, of the wind-whipped streets with this rain, and some casualties with a tree and a power line that has been pushed over. As of last count, from what I heard, and this is about 2 hours ago, I haven't got a new report on this, but on Long Island altogether, apparently about 26,000 people without power this evening, and I'm sure those numbers will go up because the winds really haven't gone down yet. So we still haven't seen the center of Floyd make its way onto Long Island. We're still getting the rain. We are still getting the wind, and it looks like we're going to be in for a few more hours of this before things go on by. So folks, again, stay indoors tonight. Just kind of deal with the storm, grab a good book and enjoy the reading, because it's not exactly pleasant to be out here tonight. Let's take you down to Chesapeake Bay, where apparently the winds are still pretty strong. Bill Keneally's in the Chesapeake Bay with a live report. Bill?
All right, Jim, thanks a lot. You're right about that. You may have an east wind coming in off the ocean. We have a west wind, actually a northwest wind, downsloping down off of the peaks in western Virginia. And I'll tell you what, it's packing a wallop, folks. Winds still gusting here in the neighborhood of 50 to 55 miles per hour. The good news is it's a dry wind. We have a setting sun very shortly, if not already, and you can see there's going to be some clearing skies on the horizon line, portending what we feel will be a very good day today. And it better be. There's an awful lot to clean up around here. Let's talk about that now with the video. You'll see the trees down, a lot of trees down in the area. A combination of winds which we believe topped out at about 65 miles per hour, and very, very saturated soil, so the root systems were very easily wiggled out of the ground, if you will. A lot of standing water. There's still going to be some problems with standing rainwater. Tidal water, probably not a big concern, though, as we're talking about a northwest or an offshore flow here. So the water is draining quickly out of the big rivers, be it the Pax River here or the Rappahannock or the Potomac rivers. At the height of the storm here in Calvert County, about 7,200 customers without power, but the restoration does continue tonight. Cable TV also impacted by the ferocity of Floyd. So that's it from here. Let's turn it now back to Christina.
All right, Bill and Jim, thanks a lot for those reports. Well, it's time now for expert analysis of Tropical Storm Floyd. For that, we head to our hurricane expert, John Hope.
Thank you very much, Christina, and good evening, everyone. While the Tropical Storm Floyd continues to move pretty rapidly, 30 miles an hour faster towards the northeast, has a kind of diffuse center out there now. It's a little bit hard to locate exactly where it is. Let me show you the satellite picture, and we have a little information here. The Hurricane Hunter recon folks tell us that the center is over land, and our observations kind of confirm that. In fact, looking at the latest observations this hour, it suggests the center might be sort of in between the Newark Airport and JFK Airport. Newark Airport has shifted to strong north-northeast winds now, gusting to about 45 miles an hour, and JFK is still out of the southeast. In any case, the point I want to make here is this moves to the northeast. The precipitation, for the most part, comes to an abrupt end, so even in northeast Pennsylvania, the rain is going to be over. You got a little bit more in New York City, but another hour or two, that should be pretty well over too. We can look at the radar and we can see now there isn't very much rain even south of New York and